Hola Raquel.
Hello,
¿Qué tal?
hello, Sandra. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
That's great. So, well, it's very cold,
It
but
is very good.
yeah, it's very cold. But well, I am very glad that we had this opportunity to share our lessons, because I think that at every time you learn something from someone. So I like it very much. I like your lesson. It was an English 1 lesson, and it's very helpful because we have the same level course. So it was a very productive activity.
True.
And
Yes,
yeah,
it was.
I like your activity. For example, I like it because you introduce the objective with your students. You emphasize it during all the activities in the class, right? Like the objective of the whole session and also the different activities, right?
Mhm.
And you ask your students to read, right? To participate, to get involved. So it was very, very positive. And also you review the vocabulary during all the activities, which was very, very useful. You use the chart of the use of English file explanation before an activity of questions, I remember. And just there, I think that maybe after this chart, maybe you could ask them to complete maybe some examples, some sentences, in order to they know yes, what to do or where to use. Because yeah, sometimes the students, some of them are visual, and also they review before, which is the idea, right? And they remember, they refresh. But there are some students that sometimes don't open the use of
Yeah, I
English,
know.
right? Yeah, so maybe it was very nice, and maybe you can spot it. I know that the time sometimes is our enemy, but maybe you could include it in order to consolidate the structure of the grammar in a context, maybe. But I think it was very useful for them to see this chart, and also maybe some of them can say, oh, I have this information in the English file, and maybe it can open them the curiosity, right? For checking it.
Right.
Well, you were very kind, very gentle during all your activities. You have good rapport with your students, and it makes your students participate in class, right? Because the way that you take the activities make the students participate in class a lot. And something that I would implement in my classes, and I started, is the use of English. The English file chart and provide a feedback at the end using the whiteboard. This is something, this is also something that I like it, that you use the whiteboard and you write their mistakes and you correct them as a whole class, right? So especially because there were some grammar mistakes, and it's very useful for them to see.
Yeah.
So in general, I like it.
Thank you. Thank you for your comments. Well, I also like your class. I think it is true that English 1 could be challenging for us because there are different kinds of students as well. So it could be quite hard sometimes. Well, I think also you have a good connection with your students. You make the effort to call them all to participate, to engage in your class. I would suggest to maybe not correct them at the time they are speaking, because sometimes they feel nervous, they feel anxious when they make mistakes. So my suggestion would be to give the feedback about pronunciation maybe in general, or at the end when the student have finished speaking, so it's not interrupting, right? If possible. Sometimes they forget pretty easy. That's why maybe we need to tell them at at that time, right? But it depends on the student, I guess. And then I think you use good examples. You try to base your activities on examples, maybe calling the hardest student, I mean the student who is the strongest, I mean, to give an example so the others can follow. In that one, my comment would be to add maybe the use of English file when possible, when time allows. As you say, sometimes time is our enemy. And sometimes it's not possible to use the whole thing or the all materials that we have, right? And my last comment would be to maybe use also the whiteboard that you told me you are already using, right? To make me give some feedback to the students because sometimes they need like this extra grammar thing because they are in English 1 and sometimes they are kind of lost or they tend to use Spanish all the time. So we need to play deaf so they can use more English. But in general, I also like your class. I think you're making the effort for everyone to participate, to read, and to improve their pronunciation all the time. So that would be in general what I learned that I don't do in my class and I will be doing. Well, today I also started doing that, is trying to focus on vocabulary and word bank that we have it on the slide, but sometimes they don't use it. They just avoid it. So maybe if they read it, they will remember how to use it. And maybe they have in mind all the time that they need to use that, right? They need to practice that. So I think that was a good point for me to learn from you. And I think that's it. It was a nice experience. I don't hear you anymore.
Yes, it was. Thank you for your comments because I think that all the time it's good to see other classes because it help us, right, to see other points of view, other ways to teach or to include something that sometimes we don't know how to do it, right? And in this case, I think that it was very nice because we share the same level and sometimes we don't feel alone, like, oh my God, my students are the only ones that feel like that. But you see that no, other students make the same mistakes or they have the same attitude, and I think it's very positive. So in general, it was very nice, Sandra, to see your class.
Same. I feel the same. Okay, it was nice to meet you again.
Yeah.
With the technical problems we had before, but I think now it will work.
Yes. Okay. Thank you, Sandra. It was very
Wonderful night,
nice.
Raquel.
Have a nice weekend too. Bye, Sandra.
Bye.
Take care.
Care.